program is a You Record Studios production.
Oh, so when Joe got a title match, that wasn't a push.
No, pushed to the top.
This is the Rob Bob Show now.
You fucking chimp.
Did you call me a chimp? I don't think she's all that hot at all.
You're just wrong.
I can get Bob fired.
It's just me sitting at my desk in his office and screaming, fuck you. Hey, everybody.
As he chews on dog food. And I was the one that started, so you interjected with something that was counter to my thought.
But your final thought was about our thought.
I hate you. I hate you.
Rob, I love you, man. You're so angry already. And I'm just like, dude, I'm enjoying myself.
I'm going to do a lot of heroin.
Jesus.
Why does everything have to be a right or a wrong with you, Bob? We're giving alternative storylines that could happen. No.
It's like a Fashion Police video.
I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I'm giving an alternative storyline of something that could happen.
Right or wrong.
We're marking out. We're having discussions of possible scenarios.
No, but that's the only way she
know
goes
for
away.
a fact he meant to do the elbow at that fucking 5-minute mark. I'm saying that.
I don't know what you're saying.
You are making me lose my motherfucking mind here. I disagree with you on just shitting all over. Roman sucks.
Well, he does.
For those that are new to the show, this is what happens when you put Rob and Bob in a room.
Now it's time for a Marked Out Podcast, YouTube exclusive. Marks versus Smarts.
Oh, the countdown has finally come to an end, ladies and gentlemen. The countdown has ended, and it is now time for what I have been waiting to do for, I don't know, months, maybe close to a year. It is now time for myself and Mr. Bobo Grande to get nasty with it. On the just to let you know what's going on, because this is our first time, so we'll get more refined in this as we move forward in the months that we do these. But I want to introduce to who we have on staff tonight. We have Golda is with us. Golda is going to be our moderator tonight.
Yes, I get to witter out the bullshit. I'm very excited.
Yes, so I told Golda ahead of time, Golda, just make sure you can pull Bob and me back from a bad place if we start to get there, right? That's what we're going to do. But let me go ahead and introduce to you our official host, the number one man of this Marks versus Smarts Marked Out Wrestling podcast presentation, Mr. Bob from Memphis. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing tonight?
I am doing well. It is 11 p.m. on the East Coast. It is 10 o'clock in the central area where you live, and I have got a cup of coffee, a black and mild, and a lot of anger pent up to throw your way, Bobby boy.
I have a carafe of water.
A carafe of...
I really don't need caffeine or nicotine to get ready to make you feel dumb. So,
well, shots fired right off the bat. Let me pull out my my inner atom bomb real quick and just give some of this.
Oh God, are we gonna abuse this button all night? Get it out of your system.
All right. So here's the deal. Here's how this is going to work, boys and girls. And by the way, we have Juan on the board and Daniel Price and Noah, and we want you guys to be involved. Now, when I say that, if it's kind of trolling shit that you're throwing on there, we're really not going to respond to it. We want to have your true thoughts on these topics that we're going to discuss throughout this broadcast. And so we're going to start with a three-topic scenario where it's going to be a bit of a long-form conversation on these three topics where we're going to go back and forth, and Gold is going to keep us in check. And after the three, we'll take a quick intermission just to do some housekeeping, and then we'll go into our Big Ten. I guess we'll call it the Big Ten for right now. That's the working title, right? Or the rundown, if you want to call it that. And we'll do
10 hot takes.
Thank you, Bob.
I like that.
10 hot takes. All right, so the 10 hot takes where we have 10 random issues in the industry. And industry is a big point with this, people. We're not going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw or what happened on...
This is what I like about this show, what I like about this concept is, so we do sometimes, with this show, we do five shows a week. The other 4 are all dedicated to us talking about something we watched. So basically, y'all are watching a show about people talking about a show. We are here for y'all. This is, honest to God, this is, the perspective of this should be that this is y'all's show. These questions mostly came from viewer suggestions. So a lot of this came from y'all. Y'all participate as much as you want, but like I said, this is trolling, fight picking, not really going to be much focused on here. This is about us talking about really our viewpoints and our beliefs of where this industry that we truly love is going.
Exactly.
And has been.
And let me put it out there right now, because I know a lot of people have been saying on the board and have been saying it on the social media to us since we announced this. We are not going to cover Roman Reigns tonight. We just kind of knew.
No,
I mean, he
this
might
is Roman free.
Yeah, if he comes up in random kind of topics within the our hot takes or whatever, so be it. But we decided that is too easy and too obvious. So maybe in the future, me and Bob will give you a Roman exclusive show. But tonight, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, we've argued about Roman enough. I think we should give him a little bit of break and argue about everybody else.
Right.
Here, let me break this down. Here's your Roman show. Fuck you, Rob. Fuck you, Bob.
Fuck you, Bob.
Pretty much.
Show.
Pretty
There
much.
you go. So
Okay. So in case you didn't know, I am the Mark, and Bob is the self-proclaimed smart. So there you go.
well, it's okay. So let me talk about those terms real quick.
Okay.
And why it's such a good name for the show. So Rob is a self-professed Mark.
Right.
He watches the show. He knows that there's gimmick going on, but he really believes that the character-driven thing and that the fans have a say-so, and it's viewer-pushed product. I look at it from a perspective of somebody who has dealt with industry people, had very real conversations with behind-the-scenes people, and I understand the industry side of it. And I understand the business side and why certain people get pushes, and there's no illusion to this for me. I enjoy the storytelling, but more than anything else, I'm never surprised or confused except for when Jinder Mahal becomes champion. That's the only time that I've been confused in the past year.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right. So here we go. You ready to do this, Bob? You ready to actually kick into this?
I'm really excited to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn it over. We're going to start with our three long-form topics, and we're going to let Golda go ahead and start the moderator job. Golda, I am in my corner. Bob is in his corner, and your turn starts right now, sir.
All right, I'm going to do my best Mills Lane impersonation here.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if it's going to work, but all right. Topic 1. We all know how the internet seems to ruin wrestling for some people. You have all the dirt sheets and people posted on forums and saying, oh, this is happening, that's happening, and lots of discussion about that. Is there too much media? Bob, I want to hear you first.
Okay, so background on where I came from with as far as viewing the media. When AOL was first giving out discs for free, one of the first big websites was WrestlingScoops.com.
Right.
And they were awesome. They had a guy who actually, for Raw and Nitro, did a long-form comedy thing that he wrote out every week for both shows. And I read those religiously, and I stayed on the inside stuff because it was brand new and fresh. If you hit L in my phone today, lordsofpain.org .net is the first that comes up.
Oh, me too.
I love Lords of Pain, but honestly, I haven't visited that much in 3 or 4 months. When I did visit it, it was to put together dirt sheet or bullshit, and it was just to look for the more outlandish stuff. I think it ultimately has harmed the industry irreparably because there's no more putting the genie back in the bottle. The internet has changed life in general forever. So I'm a Dave Meltzer guy. I enjoy, I enjoy commentators, but not insiders.
Yeah, I could not disagree with you more here, Bob. Okay, I see what you're saying. You think that because we have all these dirt sheets out there, everybody's knows everything beforehand. There's no surprise. The storylines don't make you pop anymore because well, I read that on dirt sheets a week ago or a month ago. And in that point, I agree with you. But here's my thing. It says Is there too much media? And I say no. There's not enough media, but there is too much false media. So look at shows like Walking Dead or Grey's Anatomy or whatever you want. The pop culture type mess. You've got plenty of legit media to go with that, right? You've got your e-news and you've got your magazines and whatever else they do to cover the celebrities and the stories of the TV shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Politics, obviously, plenty of media for that. Actual sporting events, plenty of media for that, even though a lot of that's kind of bought and paid for, not necessarily organic anymore, right? With wrestling, all you have right now is and wrestling is a major pop culture phenomenon worldwide. And all you have to support that in media is going to be your YouTube cast, your podcast, and Meltzer, for as much respect as he gets, although I don't think he deserves a lot of it. I mean, I don't want to say it that way. I don't think he deserves all that he gets. But he's still a dirt sheet guy, right? He's still just a podcast guy. And
yeah, but he's a podcast guy, though, that he's opinion-based and not salacious insider knowledge.
No. Here's what he does, and I've heard this from somebody that I don't like, but I do agree with it. He takes stories from people on the roster, and then in return he kind of gives them a push in his reporting, right? So if Fandango said, "Hey man, here's what's going on with Brock and fucking Jericho backstage," and like, okay, well then I'll talk about Fandango next week. I think there's
but that's always been the accusation made about him. But why hasn't WWE gotten a 5-star match out of him in 3 years?
No, and I look, I don't want to argue that point with you. That's a whole different scenario. My point I was getting to here is when it comes to wrestling media, we are it. We're small time, but other people are the same thing as us, and we're it. If you want to rein it in and make it less damaging, as you would say, to the industry, then how about WWE, first off, keeps their shit to themselves and learns how to keep a secret? Just learn how to keep a secret, for God's sake. I mean, you got to put it on them. They're the biggest name in the game. They need to learn how to do it for themselves. And give us some legitimacy to them. Like, give us access to them so that we can actually report and not just make shit up or rumors or imagine stuff that either will or won't be true.
Okay, so great point you just made. Here's why that works against you.
Okay.
Jinder Mahal. I actually referenced him, and lo and behold, he comes back to aid me. So Jinder Mahal wins #1 contender, and we all should have been really stunned by that. But what was said 2 seconds into that show? Well, they're going into the India market. That's something we know, not because there was a story leak, but because that's a business fact.
Sure.
The internet, every aspect of WWE, from the business side to who's screwing who in the locker rooms, is out there for knowledge because there's too much coverage. I'm a lot of guys. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. I'm a Meltzer guy. I'm a Cornette guy. Cornette will be the first one, even though he's got a huge podcast following. Cornette will be one of the first to tell you there's too much behind the scenes knowledge for the product to be what people want it to be.
Okay, now let me ask you to separate this out, and I'm curious how you think on this. So when you say there's too much, now look at Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. Look at What Culture. Look at Solomon, right? I think that's his name. The JD from New York guy, whatever. These are all fan
Wrestling with Regret. Yeah.
These are all fan reaction shows, right? So do you lump and we report dirt sheets that we get from other people. Do you lump us or our type of show into what you're saying is too much? I mean, do you think that the actual reporting should come from just Dave Meltzer and that's it? No. Okay.
No, I lump us in. Okay, so once again, there's two sides of wrestling media.
Yeah.
There is the spoiler side. There's the I got a secret, and then there's reporting. And as vulgar and as lack of any kind of refinement as we are, and that's a positive.
Yeah.
We are a reporting show. We're what news is becoming, good, bad, or indifferent.
Fake news.
I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, we don't. Whenever we report news, we never report spoilers. We always report that it's always innocuous stuff.
Right.
So that I never have a problem with. It's it's those that just they can't wait to tell you what the Vegas odds are, which ruins half the shows. That's why Samoa Joe, I thought his win was so great, because Vince was like, okay, the Vegas odds have been spot on for the past whatever.
Yeah.
Let's give it to Joe, because the Vegas odds were with AJ Styles.
Well,
so that was a swerve.
Here's my personal story that I think that goes against what your point is here. My personal story is somebody who came back to wrestling in 2014 after taking 10 years off from watching wrestling, right? Golda, we've had this conversation many times. And for me, just coming back and watching wrestling, I do not believe that I would have been watching as religiously as I have been for the last 3 years if it would not be for the fact that I've had this behind-the-scenes perspective to teach me so much about the industry. Because truly my passion for the industry is the creation process and how stuff gets moved forward into pieces, how they move here and they move there within the storyline of the product. So for me, without the excessive kind of dirt sheets, I don't know if I would be as big of a fan.
I can see that. And I haven't relied so much on the web sheets since the end of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend of mine who I've told this story many times on the show. I know a guy who never read the dirt pages, but I can tell you I was there the moment wrestling died for him, and he's never been a fan since. Okay. It was the moment that the Sledgehammer entered the Elimination Chamber. Like, that was the moment he was like, done. I'm done with wrestling now. It was because of the product.
Okay.
And I thought that was a BS move too, but I stuck with it. I've been like, my the teeth that I sucked on was Lance Russell talking about, superstar Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler fighting it out for the 50th time that year, every Saturday morning.
Yeah, you're old.
So, yeah, dude, it's, Lance Russell should have been the one to induct Lawler.
All right.
I mean, that's where, and I've never stopped watching wrestling in all that time.
So I think the takeaway between me and you here is there too much media? There is a yes and a no to this. There is two sides of the coin, and it all depends on perspective, I would guess you would look at. I don't think it hurts the industry. I think it hurts the industry for certain types of fans, but I think overall, I think it has garnered more attention towards the industry, personally, myself.
All right, now I have one quick question about this. What about ESPN? They've been covering a lot more of WWE in the last year.
Garbage.
Right.
It's garbage.
Yeah, it's good for the industry, but for the longtime fans, it doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, so once again, my Memphis wrestling history. When Andy Kaufman was in Memphis, there was a sportscaster named Jack Eaton. This is before the curtain got pulled back. And Jack Eaton, every Monday night, would report on what happened at the Mid-South Coliseum. And when Lawler pile drove Kaufman 3 times, Jack Eaton came on and, said Lawler should be arrested for the attempted murder of Andy Kaufman. And he was frothing. He was so mad.
That's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
At the time, looking back, yes. At the time, no, because Jack Eaton was selling the business and doing what he was supposed to do, and it was, and we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, kayfabe's pretty much broken.
You have to know that the ESPN thing, to answer your question, Golden, the ESPN thing is. WWE is the perfect example. If you are a strong man in a government somewhere and you were thinking you want to take power and start a dictatorship a la Trump, right? ESPN is a perfect example of how you do that, because Vince McMahon is by all means a dictator when it comes to the WWE.
Yes.
I don't think anybody would argue that point. Whatever the old man says goes. Everybody said that, from the old timers to the new timers. So what you have,
that's any privately owned business.
Well, yeah, but here's my point to that, is that if you look at what WWE is doing, they're doing this Smack Talk show after SmackDown, and I truly believe that is a way to try to drown out the voices like us and make people listen to them so WWE can give their propaganda that they want people to see, attract them. Same thing with the other show they do on a network, and ESPN is the other one. Hey, we're going to pay, because they're paying for these spots. They've got a business deal with them. So here's why ESPN is talking about it, and it's all propaganda by the dictator Vince and his empire to let the fans know exactly what he wants them to know. And look, I get it. That's if you're going storyline, that's fine. You want the fans to believe what they're going to believe, but you're trying to drown them out. Yes, it's not necessary. So
right, all right. Now we're going to go to the board here. Let's see. Daniel Price, he's been pretty on it so far today. He said, Bob has a semi-valid point regarding Jim Cornette. For us old school marks/smarks that grew up with NWA, etc., before kayfabe died, it is very easy to call what Vince is going to do, even without the dirt sheets.
That's a valid point. Absolutely.
And we also have Shitman's on the board, so he's here.
Bitch Brian.
We haven't seen him in a while. He's here.
All right.
All right. See. Let's see.
See, Sir Sam the third.
Yeah, Ozzy. Let's see.
Yeah.
When Vince not only pulls down the curtain but breaks the fourth wall with garbage like Turtle Divas, it hurts the business.
Yeah.
Total Divas is one of the worst. It's great to help the women's wrestling get a bigger audience, but it is one of the worst things that's ever happened to pro wrestling.
I'm with you there. I'm absolutely with you there. Noah here, real quick. We are doing to keep coming to wrestling no matter how bad the product gets. We'll bitch and moan and say it sucks, but we'll just keep coming back like an abused housewife. Look, and that's true in some cases, but again, I took 10 years off.
Is it?
Well, in some cases.
Viewership's down 20%.
Yeah, well, no, that's why I say some cases. If it was 100%, then you'd be absolutely right, Bob. I'm saying I quit for 10 years because I just didn't like the direction it was going, and I had better things in my life to do, and I didn't want to devote the time to it anymore, honestly.
What I'm saying, though, is 20% that's not a number to gloss over. Viewership is significantly down, and these are people who are just walking away from the product, and they're taking their kids with them. We may be walking towards not just the industry being hurt. Wrestling has changed because of the media, and with so many people being able to look behind the curtain, there's no more mystique to it. Kayfabe was there to preserve it, and when you don't have a preservative in a product, it can start to mold.
Yeah, but viewership's not fair. That's not a fair. It's not a fair litmus test anymore for the viewership of WWE, Bob. I mean, you have people. There are people now that will watch Raw just through the clips on YouTube. There's people who watches the clips on Hulu. There's all kinds of pirated ways to watch it as well. So, I mean, to say it's down...
I got a buddy of mine who does Hulu. It's an hour and a half to watch a 3-hour show.
Exactly. So I'm saying, to say that the viewership on Raw and SmackDown is down 20%, yeah, that sounds bad in 2002. But in 2017, it actually makes sense that 20% of your viewership has gone to a digital format that is not countable via the Nielsen ratings. And as a person who is a member of a Nielsen household, I understand how the ratings work in depth. And
Did you get your dollar? Did you get your dollar to fill out the thing?
Oh, dude, they pay out the ass, man. They are. I'm loving this. I'm gonna hate when it ends.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it paid that well.
Dude, they don't pay. It's every quarter you get a certain amount of money, and get broke. If your TV breaks, they help fix it. You get a new TV, they pay a portion of it. They send me gifts for my kids all the time, and I'm talking like binoculars and remote control cars, like high end fucking like. I feel like a celebrity at the Oscars getting a fucking grab bag.
Yeah, they send you a whole book with like 10 pages, and
dude,
you get to pick shit out of the book.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
All right, now
I'm gonna have to get in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
2.
We're going to topic 2 now. All right, we have heels. We have faces. And in traditional ways, it's always supposed to be the heel versus the face. But it seems like it's being harmed a lot. Whose fault is the heel versus face dynamic not being as good? Whose fault is it? Rob, why don't you start this one off?
Well, what is a heel? What is a face? I still believe... Look, I think the heel-face dynamic has gone away for a couple reasons. One, I think the Indies has really kind of thrown a wrench into that because they rely on matches, not necessarily personalities. A lot of these guys are coming through the Indies rather than being trained in developmental leagues like they once were. The territories were more heel face because they would do multiple shows in the area, and they would portray these characters, and they had their small TV deals in those regions. So you could have heel face. Now the indies are the indies. You go to a PWX show on a Saturday, a guy's a heel that night, and then the next night you see me the freaking face, right? So
100%, that's true.
But another thing for me is, if you say whose fault is it, why is the traditional feud not the same anymore? I think it comes down to Vince McMahon. And I do not mean to be disparaging here or mean, but I think Vince is medically off his rocker. I think he's gone to a point of dementia where he doesn't quite know what a heel in the face is anymore. Because if you look at, and here I'm going to bring it up, I am doing the unholy thing of bringing up Roman Reigns, not to start an entire diatribe about it. But if you look at Roman,
it's fine. It's fine.
If you look at Roman Reigns, the fact that they're pushing him as the company's babyface, as the face of the company, and the key word there is face, and Vince is not giving up on that pursuit, and it's very obvious in that point. You can say right there that Vince has no idea how the dynamic of heel and face works, and if it's not Vince's fault, it's whoever he has writing for him now. A heel and a face is a classic wrestling term, and when you have people in your writing staff who are not classic wrestling fans or classic industry professionals from their whole life, when you get Freddie Prinze Jr. writing your script for WWE, he doesn't know what a heel and a face. He knows what an antagonist is from a movie.
WWE for 2 years.
I understand that. I understand that. I'm just using him as a point here, but I'm just saying the heel face dynamic. Now, if you go NXT. Heel face is solidified. It is a beautiful transition that the way they do it there. They build their heels up in long form, and they slowly they come to the crowd and they massage them a little bit, and then they punch them in the face eventually. WWE, the main roster, they have lost all grasp of what a heel and a face is, and I don't buy that it's the smart fans out there that is necessarily ruining this. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm going to go ahead and say one name. Kevin Nash.
Okay.
So 2 men ruined the big man forever. Mark Calloway and Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash went a step further and ruined the industry on accident. There was a pay-per-view called Good Friend, Better Enemies, where good friends, better enemies. And it's where it was the first feud between him and Shawn Michaels, and he had played the heel role, and Shawn was playing the face role, and then they announced that pay-per-view, and he mocked it on the air, the title of it, and he got in trouble backstage for it, but it was one of those moments where it was like, oh, the bad guy's really cool. This was pre-Stone Cold. This was pre all that other stuff. This was the first time that a heel was like, oh, that name sucked. He's making fun of it. I kind of like that. And it's been downhill ever since. As far as the...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, your turn.
I promise I'm waiting for you. Go ahead.
No, okay. So I might sound a bit of a hypocrite here, and that's just me, whatever. But I think it kind of reflects back on topic number 1, the heel and the face thing, because another dynamic to this is with the social media, and I don't think it's media necessarily, but social media. The fact that I can see Braun Strowman having a cup of coffee and going to Disney World with Roman Reigns, or the fact that I see all the good things that Stephanie McMahon does in her philanthropy, right?
Right.
It's hard to take that heel character in seriously. Well, Stephanie's great at it, but a lot of these guys, you see their real lives, and you go, well, he's a heel, so I'm going to boo him, but he's kind of a cool guy. But go ahead.
That dynamic isn't there anymore. Cena, and I'll bring him up too because he's really good for this topic without us having an argument about him.
Fuck you, Bob.
Cena and Roman are the exact point that should be made, is we hate them. We hate them, and we hate this fact that they're faces. We want them to be heel, and we're not allowed to have what we want because Vince won't change it. So now we have, and Triple H said he goes into the arena, he's booed by everybody in the audience. He's a heel then. Well, no, yeah, he's a heel, but he's still doing the good guy stuff. Stone Cold changed it forever. He went back and forth so many times to the traditional heel and face stuff,
Right.
where after a while, you couldn't make him heel. You couldn't make him face. He was just loose cannon on his own.
Well, and again,
So, I mean, I don't believe in heel and face anymore.
well, I think here's another problem. Here's another fucking problem here, and I'm going to give you credit for this, Bob. But the fact that T-shirt sales, merchandise sales, determines heel and face now, right? So like we talk about Cena all the time. Is he going to go heel? No, he sells too many T-shirts. Roman, is he actually going to be a heel? Even though that's pretty much what he is. Even though they don't portray him that way in his storylines. No, well, he's got too much. His merch is selling too high, too heavy. And to me, as a mark, I understand industry. I understand they're here to make money. But there's got to be a point when you say there's got to be a line you can't cross. There's got to be a line within the profession, within the industry, within professional wrestling itself that you say, no, goddammit, no. I don't care if you sell T-shirts. Right now, what's best for our product, what's best for our storyline moving forward is you as a heel, a goddamn traditional, nasty, malicious, mean fucking heel. I don't need.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
But
care that you sell shirts.
Okay, but here's the problem with what you're wanting. All those things you just described, nasty, mean, malicious heel. Okay?
Yeah.
Randy Orton was the good guy in the Bray Wyatt storyline.
Oh, God. Well, yeah.
He burned the man's house down, he desecrated a grave, and he did it multiple times, and I still say he killed a cameraman. But he did all those things, and he was the good guy. There's no such thing as heel and face. Now, with Roman, yeah, he should have been heel a long time ago. Cena should have been heel a long time ago. Those merch sales, look, let's never forget, we love watching pro wrestling, and we love the storylines, and we wish these things were this, and we wish things were that. At the end of the day, it's a business. And it's a business that dictates a third hour of Raw because they make ridiculous revenue in that third hour, even though it's the most unnecessary hour in television.
But don't you think that there is a it's almost it takes up air. It takes the air out of the room. And what I mean by that is, yes, Roman's merchandise sales right now, according to all reports, are off the charts. So the argument is make him a face, because if you make him a heel, people won't buy his shirts anymore, which I don't necessarily buy 100%, but I see the logic in it. My thing is there are 60 other people on, or if not more, on that roster. And right now, they are being drowned out by the Roman Reigns phenomenon. And maybe if you allow someone else to jump in there, maybe their merch sales will go through the roof. Maybe you can test the waters. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to have Hunter and Rock and Stone Cold, the three top sellers of their time, going back and forth, and mix those sales up. Mix them up. Let other people get a piece of the purse, man.
Yeah, right, but no. It's a business. I mean, at no point am I. So I own Raw now. I own wrestling now. So I look at WWE and I'm like, okay, I own you, and I am making $1 million a year on Roman Reigns and his stupid T-shirts, because it's an ugly design, and I don't know who in the hell's buying it, but the audience is full of T-shirts.
Yeah,
even the ones booing him, they're wearing shirts. So all these shirts are being bought, and I'm like, you know what? Let me mess with my revenue stream, and hopefully somebody else can make that money up for me. No, I'm absolutely not going to do that, because as long as I'm getting the money that I require to keep my business afloat and my paychecks fat, that ain't going anywhere.
Okay, well, how about this?
That ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but look, in that aspect, if you take my example of Rock, Stone Cold, and Hunter, right, doing the fluctuating roles. So let's say you got Roman, who's selling $1 million a year in merchandise sales. Is just a random number there? $1 million a year.
Selling more than that, by the way.
Okay, that's fine. We're going to use
it as a round number. Yeah, go ahead.
For the example, so if you say, okay, I'm going to fluctuate some other people in that top spot with him, and I'm going to drop him to a heel for a little bit. All right, so let's say his sales drop to $500,000. Well, you know what? Maybe the guy they pump up bumps up 500,000, and then you get a third person involved. So you've already got your money equaled out here with Roman and whoever the other new guy is. You bring a third person in there, you fluctuate them in. Now they're making 500,000 in sales. Now you got 1.5 million. So now you're making more than with just Roman Reigns or even just John Cena fronting the bill for you. Why not take the chances? I'm a business owner. You got to spend money to make money. You have to take chances and allow new ideas and new things to propel you to the next level. You can't just say, I'm at the top right now. I don't need anything else. I don't need nothing to change. No, because eventually when you change nothing, it starts to fall backwards.
Okay, so I'll use John Cena as an example of this. So John Cena still does great numbers, even though it's Fruity Pebbles and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He still does great numbers in shirts and sales. John Cena is also free advertising because he's the number one Make-A-Wish person ever. All that's free advertising. I know that's a callous way to look at it, but that's a fact. It's good free advertising. He's doing TV shows. If he was a heel, he's not hosting True Grit or whatever the hell they're calling it. Stone Cold on his podcast has talked about this multiple times. When he would go heel, it would piss him off because his checks would go from way up top to way down bottom. Like, turning somebody heel, I don't think you understand how much that damages revenue for merch sales. And once again, I go back to this. The reason why I am completely okay with Joseph Hanoi and John Cena and, these other people who have Sting, these are people who see, who the company has looked at and said, there's money here, and we can't walk away. We would be foolish to walk away from it. And with WWE having 14% owned by stockholders, the stockholders would think it was foolish.
Yeah, but
you
don't think the Roman Reigns thing will eventually bite them in the ass? I mean, look, I understand he's a big sell right now. Fine, he's a big sell. I can see that point. But you don't think that with the backlash is going to grow. It is an infectious disease, and it will spread, and it will eventually hurt them if they do not make a change with him. At some point at some point they will. They should have made that change a year ago. Right.
They should have made that change after the last not Money in the Bank, after the last
they should have changed it to Royal Rumble. Not this last one, but the one before that. He should have attacked The Rock when he came out to try to protect him. Look.
Yeah. I mean, all those things should have happened, but didn't happen. And now we're left with fans who think that they know what's best, and they take a dump on the product every night on national television.
No, I think the product takes a dump on the fans every night on national television. Honestly. I mean, when you have the product
is the product.
Well,
the product has never been anything but the product.
But it's
the fans that have changed.
But the fans make the product. We are what the product is here for.
And you think that, but that's not the case. It's never been the case.
With no fans, there's no money. I mean, there's
fans are always.
This is why they're booking themselves in smaller arenas now than they were back in the day, and their viewership is down, as you said. It's because they're shoving.
The profits are up.
They're shitting on. Well, okay.
They also have the network that helps with the profits.
Yeah, I'm sure the network does help, absolutely. And the network is a fantastic thing. I was skeptical about it at first, but it's a really great thing. I just really do believe. I've been watching wrestling for my entire life. All right, and I'm sure you have.
10 years.
What's that?
Except for 10 years.
Except for the 10 years, and even in that 10 years, I still kind of knew what was going on, but just didn't care. I heard it through the grapevine or through reports or whatever. But my whole life, and I have never, and I know Cena got a lot of heat. I know he did, but I have never seen the amount of vitriol that has come from crowds like I have for Roman Reigns. And I understand it's a reactionary sport.
It's Cena. I mean, Cena got the exact same thing.
Oh,
everybody acts like Roman's special. Cena got the exact same thing.
Have you ever seen anything like what happened on Monday Night Raw after Roman beat Taker? I have never seen that.
Have I ever seen somebody completely own an audience? Yes.
I completely. I think that
The audience was in his hand.
Okay.
And they were booing, but they were still waiting for him to say something. And when he didn't say anything, they booed even harder.
You don't think there was some?
It was a genius moment in WWE.
You don't think there was any honesty to that at all? Like the fans weren't literally trying to tell Vince, we are fucking very.
I think they were honestly following the trend. Yes.
Okay.
The trend is to hate. The trend is to hate the baby face now, and not even the good guy, not even the face.
Yeah.
Roman and Cena are both baby faces. It is the trend to hate the next baby face that comes along. They're going to shit on him too.
I don't think to this level, not at all. But I do agree with you there. I mean, as far as a heel goes, like we had this disagreement the other day. The Drifter, right?
Yes.
Elias Sampson.
It is a Drifter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elias Sampson. I absolutely love him, and I love him because of just the amount of, and I know we disagree here, the amount of heel heat that I believe he gets from the crowd. I think it is genuine. I think the fans that actually like him are booing him because they know that's what they're supposed to do with him, is boo him. So they're giving him that love, saying like, it's like when Rock would insult the crowd in one of his songs. They would boo him, but they would laugh in between the boos. And I think with Elias, people are actually loving it.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think they see him in the ring with a guitar, singing meandering-ass songs with no point, and they are like, you suck, and we haven't even really gotten to see much out of you. We've already decided we hate you.
I 100% disagree with you.
Unless they pull that gimmick back and they start having him be more physical and be Elias Sampson, he's doomed.
All right, let's we got a lot of people on the board. The Joker's here. Hey, Joker, Perfect 11's been here.
What's up, Joker?
Let's let Gold to jump on the board here. A lot of stuff I'm sure we missed, guys. I know you guys are doing awesome, giving us some great points, and we are just long-winded right now. So if we missed your point, please bear with us. We'll do our best to get to it. So Gold, what you got?
Right, I tried to highlight a lot of the ones I liked, but I literally have 100 to read through. So I can't get all of them. If I can't get to it, I'm sorry. But I do know that Brian York made a good point about New Japan. You know, the Bullet Club, as Bob would say, the Super Kick Midgets, Kenny Omega. They are a huge heel faction, but they sell the most merchandise outside of half of WWE.
Okay, sure.
But in all fairness, though, New Japan is set up differently. They have four main. They have there is the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club is the coolest of the factions.
Right.
There are four huge factions. Everybody only talks about Bullet Club.
Yeah, because Bullet Club, there's Los Ignorables de Japan. Then there's the Suzuki Gun. And what's the other one?
Bullet Club has the best guys in it. There's a couple of good guys in every group, but the best guys are in Bullet Club.
Well, I got to go. Sir Sam here is giving me, and we'll jump back to Gold here in a second. He's saying that you're wrong, Bob. He's saying some baby faces have been over. He's saying that Dean in early 2016, Dean was over. I think the championship run hurt him because he shouldn't be a champion. He should be chasing it all the time. But I mean, there's an example of baby faces that are. So I don't think the trend is necessarily to hate the baby faces. I think that's an excuse that smarts and that the industry personnel use to justify these moments, like with Roman Reigns. Oh, they're booing him because it's the trend. It's the cool thing to do. No, it's not.
Right, but with Dean, though, Dean could go to heel at any time.
Well,
Dean has that Stone Cold vibe about him. That's really cool. People know he can.
I despise that comparison. Dean has never been anything like Stone Cold. And people that say it, I don't know where that comes from. Why? Because he does the tough guy kind of attitude. He is nowhere near Stone Cold on any level at all.
It's the loose trigger aspect of him. You never know what he's going to do.
I always know what he's going to do.
The term, it's a rattlesnake effect.
I always
never know when he's going to strike.
Oh, you always know it. Dean is so predictable. I mean, he's funny and he has his moments, but he is so very predictable. I don't buy it. I don't really buy him in the ring at all either. I just don't agree that it's a fad that people boo. You know, people are booing Cena. People are booing these people because they're put in the position that they're in as the top talent in the company, and yet they don't have what's the word? Talent. They don't have it. Roman Reigns can't talk on the mic. He's
John Cena doesn't have talent.
no.
Look, I'm not a John Cena fan.
Look, John Cena.
At all.
I am okay with. I'm okay.
Game's got to recognize his game.
I'm okay with where John Cena's at right now. Okay, where he's at right now, yeah, keep him face because he's the face of the company outside of the company. I am okay with it. It's grown on me. It's fine. But when he was just strictly a wrestler, when it was just him in ring competition, and he was getting heat, yeah, I think it was deserved heat. He was great on the mic.
I don't know, that U.S. Open competition, he was really pulling out all its stops, and that was every week. He was having the top match on the card every week.
I'm talking more like CM Punk championship days.
Okay, I got you.
You know, recently him, come and try to build the belt back. That's fine. Cena's fine with me right now. But I think with Roman Reigns, I mean, and I could go through and we could do the cool kid count and all that stuff. But if you watch him in the ring, to me, he doesn't tell stories. He doesn't sell. He doesn't talk on a mic well. He doesn't intimidate his opponents like a true face would do. He just.
We're not going to have the.
I know we're not going to do it.
There's a real easy way we can get off into a Roman argument right here.
No.
I think he's safe.
All right, well, we're going to drop that. I have one more point that I wanted to bring up that Sir Sam Ozzy brought up. He said, look at Batman. Old school Adam West Batman, rest in power.
Yes.
You know, he was a pure face. Like, he was goody two-shoes.
Right.
Whereas the more modern Batman is a much more gray area. You know, he's good, but he beats the crap out of people, but he helps, but he beats them.
Right.
But the only modern Batman who was pure good was George Clooney, but that got shat on because that movie was just unwatchable.
Right, and just before we move on here, Perfect 11 says, people booed the fuck out of Hulk Hogan in 1996, and he turned heel, and he changed the entire industry. There's a point right there.
Right, but now but we can't just have that bash at the beach moment anymore because now we're waiting for it.
It doesn't mean you won't pop. We've been waiting for Cena to turn heel for years, and it doesn't. And if Cena went heel, even if you're kind of waiting for it to happen, it doesn't mean you won't pop. What's the movie? Jurassic Park. I've watched Jurassic Park probably 200 times in my lifetime, right? And there's this scene where Samuel L. Jackson's down in the engineering room or whatever the fuck it is, trying to find the power switches, and a velociraptor jumps out of the cage behind him. I know that spot in that movie is there. Every time I watch it, I'm like, here it comes. And every time it happens, I jump. Every single time. I hit a guy one time, I jumped so hard. So just because you know it's coming.
I just realize what the problem is. You're simple.
No, okay.
If the same movie makes you jump every time,
no,
you might be a little helmet head.
No. There's our shot fucking across the bow. No, here's what it is, Bob, and maybe this is the best example of what a mark is. A roller coaster. I hate people to go on roller coasters and they ride it and they try to hold it in their emotion like that was nothing. It didn't get me going. No, I like to get on a roller coaster and I like to scream. I like to scream. I go to a horror movie and I like to be afraid. I watch a comedy movie and I like to laugh. I embrace every situation I am in and I allow it to take me to where it is supposed to take me. I don't try to fight that. And it's the same thing with wrestling. I allow it to take me to where it is. I allow it to do what it's supposed to do to me. I can hate it.
I think that's where we ultimately diverge.
Okay.
Is you allow it to take you someplace. I accept that it's going to go someplace weird. It doesn't take me anywhere. I know it's going somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Well, I'm never going to go see Jurassic Park with Bob because it would just be boring. So we've established that. All right.
No, just not the same movie you've watched 200 times, and every time it spooks you.
I fuck it, bro. I fuck it. I fucking love it, bro.
Good job.
Yeah.
3.
All right. Topic number 3. Who is to blame for the failures of the industry? Are we to blame? We, the audience, are we at fault for the problems that we're having? Bob, go.
All right, so for those on the board that had gained a bit of respect for me, allow me to take that away from you. I believe that I want to make sure I phrase this properly. I believe the majority, maybe not vast majority, but I would say a good 65, 70% of the problems of the industry right now are the audience. I hate wrestling fans. I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm not one of those wrestling fans that think that the product, that they are owed something because they're a fan. That makes you a rat. You're just getting fucked in a very different way. I don't appreciate people who, the what chants are the worst. The CM Punk chants are for marks. The what chants, okay, so when Rocky Maivia first started doing his promos, when The Rock first started doing his promos, he was struggling because there was no script, and Vince was letting him die. And he had, if you go back and listen to his old promos, they were very stuttered. He would stop, he would think of there was pacing involved.
Yeah.
The what chant thankfully came on later, because now a what chant, Rocky Maivia never would have become The Rock, because those what chants would have murdered him. Because it completely screws up the flow of a promo. I hate them so very much. The CM Punk chants, really, that's just self-congratulatory marks who think they understand things, and it's their way of saying boo, but they're not clever enough to just boo the product. I don't like. It's this. Well, no, this is what I want, and I don't like him, so I'm going to boo him, and I'm going to change the flow of this show, and then I'm going to get on YouTube, and I'm going to have a tantrum, and it just, shut up. And if you notice on the show, I don't get angry at the product. I get angry at the reaction to the product. Like I said, I will fully admit, the show after
Mania.
Jinder Mahal won, I was mad because it was tarnishing the history of that title, and not because it happened, but because of what it he's in that lineage now, which doesn't make any sense. But other than that, it's the reaction bothers me so much more. And audiences, British audiences, they get it. They don't mess with the show. Japanese audiences are the best in the world. But yeah, by and large, good 65-70% falls on but that's not what I want.
You sound like a crotchety old man.
Majority of the audience.
You sound like a crotchety old man who's in charge of the No Fun Club. Look.
No, it's not no fun. It's just this is a reality.
I'm gonna put you like this. When I watch it on TV and I hear the what chants, I'm like, oh God, let him talk. When I hear the CM Punk chants, I'm like, okay, let it go. He's not coming back. Right? I get that. If I'm at a live show or even a televised show, but I'm there live, and the CM Punk chants, I don't do the CM Punk chants. I still think that's absolutely fucking stupid. But if the what chants come up, dude, how often do I get to go to a WWE event? How often do I get to chant what with 20,000 other people? That's fun to me. I mean, as annoying as that can be,
you become part of the problem.
Well, maybe, but as fun as that may be at times, I do understand. When there's certain people talking, trying to make a point for the storyline. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. But if somebody's struggling on a promo and the crowd's like, they're going to give you this. And either you can make something out of it, like Alexa Bliss. You can make something out of this chant, or you can let it bury you. But the fans are challenging you to be better than what you're doing right now. They're looking for that next person, that next rock, to get out there and tell them to shut the fuck up, and then they accept it and they shut the fuck up. If the what chant gets you, it's because you're not good enough to overcome it. Point blank. But here's my answer to it. My answer to the question, who's to blame? I'll give you 3 words. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's your 3 words. That's who to blame. The argument's always made, well, the fans, they're the ones to blame and all this. No, we pay the money. We're the ones paying the money that pays Vince McMahon, that pays the wrestlers, that pays everybody. And so it's not our fault. The fault is that creative has gotten lazy. Vince has got dementia. The talent has gotten repetitive. The promos have gotten too scripted. The show itself has become more of a commercial than a professional wrestling program. It's look, it's not the fans' fault. The fans are saying we want more, and if you don't give us more, then we're going to disrupt. We're gonna protest in the way that we can by giving you a what chant in the middle of your promo. It's not our fault. Give us something that's a step above garbage, and maybe we won't do it.
First, you are really big on attaching diseases to situations where that's not warranted, like cancer and dementia.
I know. I believe
might
it.
Be a bit excessive.
I believe it.
I think he is stuck in a pattern of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the simple fact is, it's still making him money. It's still not broke. He's still not fixing it. It'll get fixed when the next one comes along. But
so we just got to deal with the garbage.
It will get fixed. It'll get changed.
Well, you just made my point right there. You made my point right there. What you just said proves that I'm right, because you just said it'll get fixed when the next people come along.
Well, no,
so
you're
conceding.
it's not going to get fixed. It'll get changed. I don't think there's anything wrong with the industry.
So
I don't think that there's anything wrong from the Vince side of it. The Vince side is there to make money. He's the chairman of the board, meaning he has people he has to answer to. This is a financial thing. And then you get these people who, I'm going to cancel my subscription. And then they got people like you who came on and said, you just watch. People are going to cancel their subscriptions, and they are canceling their subscriptions. And then the next month, it came out, and it was like subscriptions were up a ridiculous amount.
Right. When you
domestically,
give, when you
not
give
internationally, domestically, they were at their highest point. Nobody's canceling.
When you give them away free after people cancel, then people are going to resubscribe right away. So that jumps your numbers right. If you had 20 people to cancel, and then they got an email the next day saying, "Hey, we miss you. We want you back. We'll give you 2 months free if you come back." Well, okay, it's free. I'll come back. Sure. So that number's that's a cheated number in my opinion. Look, it's a financial.
Subscriptions are up.
Okay,
That's
fine. And I think there's other ways to look at it. It's not just there's other factors involved in why they're up. I don't think it's just because the product's so goddamn good that everybody's like, oh God, I need a subscription to the network. No, they're up because of other factors involved. I'm not saying that there's not legitimate fans out there getting it. Look. If it's a financial business, if Vince is so not in dementia or he's so in touch with everything going on, here's what you do. If the product is wailing, then you go to the creative staff and you say, you and you are fucking fired. You are out of here. And we're going to bring people in that actually know how to write and book a wrestling show. People that
and
can
that's
come.
What he did. He did that. He took the leader of Bad Street. They took Hayes off of the head of writing for SmackDown, and they put B.G. James in charge. And the writing has definitely picked up. So, no, there's changes being made, but it's this audience that thinks they know better how to run a business than a guy who almost lost everything, bet on himself, and made it into a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Dude, look. Let's be real. Let's be real here for a second, Bob. He is a 70.
I've been real the whole time.
All right. He is a 70-something-year-old man. All right. Now, my father, who lives with me, I help him out. He's a 70-something-year-old man, and he still sees the world from 20, 30, 40 years ago. That's how he sees it. And no matter what you tell him, that's how he sees it. It doesn't matter if you have facts in front of you. That's how he sees it. Donald Trump is an 80-year-old man or however old he is. He sees the world as
78. Yep.
Okay. He sees the world as the 1950s. I know. He sees the world as the 1950s. No matter what you tell him about science and facts and everything else, that's how he sees it. 1950s. It doesn't matter what you say. 1950s. Those are the golden eras. Those are the golden years. Vince McMahon is an old man, an old rich white man that sees the world as it was in the 1980s probably, and thinks he can book and write like he did in the 1980s for crowds in 2017, and it just does not translate.
I disagree with that completely.
It doesn't translate.
This is the same guy who saw where the industry was going and had a meeting with the guys and said, "Look, I'm about to lose everything. We're going to change things," and he revolutionized the industry.
That was 20 years ago. That was 20 years ago.
It was yeah. Okay.
It was 20 years ago.
He still, and then the Attitude Era, he went to the Ruthless Aggression Era, and now, I mean, it's like
and then he went to the PG era.
Updated the game for new eras.
Yeah, and he went to the PG. And Ruthless Aggression era was okay, but it wasn't Attitude. So you have a decline
PG
there.
Era is necessary.
Well, PG era was all a political thing, so Linda could try to run for fucking the Senate. That's what that was.
The PG era was brought on by so many more things than that. Mostly because when you're PG-13, here's what you wanted with PG-13, okay? Here's what everybody, the Attitude Era was better. Okay, you're never going to get it back because chair shots to the head are no longer going to happen.
Yeah.
Profuse bleeding is unnecessary, and women treated like sex objects is unnecessary.
I get
Take
that.
those three things away, that's the end of the Attitude Era.
No, I understand that, but that doesn't mean that. Look, people say it's the best because I think because the writing and creative was so much better. It was so much better than take away the raunchiness of it that you just spelled out. It was better. The writing and the creative and the booking and the wrestling and the promos and the talent, everything was just more organic. It was more better. It was more badass, if you want to call it that. And it's now it's stale and repetitive. And it's just I'm so twisted right now. Look, I honestly, and I say this honestly, do not think that the fans have any responsibility for how bad the product is now. That has to fall on the shoulders of Vince McMahon, who is the captain of that ship. If one member of his crew is screwing it up, he is the captain. If he doesn't make the changes, then that falls on him. Whether it's dementia or just ignorance or out of touch or just he wants to do the same thing because he thinks that the same thing will always work, which it won't because you have to change with the times, a la Thomas Jefferson, change with the times. It falls on Vince McMahon. Golda, what you got on the board, bud?
Let's see, the board here. I had the wrong screen pulled up.
Sure.
Give me 1 second. I had one highlighted because I really liked it. All right, Daniel
Just
Price.
go ahead and siphon out all those FU Bobs.
Actually, there's only been a couple. And they didn't say F. So actually it's pretty good. British fans don't try to take over the show. Really. I know WWE is a rarity for them there, but the incessant soccer chants and such, that doesn't count. The Japanese are quiet for a reason. And then they were talking about...
Japan's also a completely different culture. And as somebody who lived in Japan, which I did, the Japanese people are a very timid, subdued people as a culture. They're very respectful and they're... I mean, when you talk, they don't interrupt. They listen, and they're very elegant and quiet in their speech back to you in their reactions. The compared Japan fans to American fans is apples and oranges all day.
All right, and then we have another one. This is actually a little conversation that we had. We had Perfect 11. He said WrestleMania was a massive risk by Vince. It nearly bankrupted him. And then Noah said Vince just copied what NWA did with Starrcade 83. And then Ozzy said that it was a big risk 33 years ago.
Right.
Starrcade 83 Starrcade 83 was a good prototype, but like all great men, Vince saw what they did and made it bigger and better.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I agree with you on that, Bob. I mean, Vince got he got the better end on that. He attacked, and it was perfect. The thing, I just go back to my closing point on this topic is Vince McMahon does not change with the times, and that will inevitably be his downfall if somebody finally doesn't tell him that. You need to change with the times, and he's still trying to do the same shit he did because he was successful 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's not 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's a different world. And I understand.
My last thought on it.
Okay.
My last thought on it is if Vince made one great mistake, he gave the quote-unquote universe too much power.
All right. Well,
because now the universe has gotten out of control, and they think Vince owes them something.
Okay. All right, I'm going to jump into some housekeeping here real quick. We're going to take a very short break, just about a minute for this, and then we're going to go into our, what do we call it again? The
10 hot takes.
10 hot takes. All right, so bear with us, a little housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Here are your marked out wrestling housekeeping notes and weekly schedule. Monday nights at 11:30 p.m. Join us for Monday Night Rawsome. Tuesday nights at 10:15 p.m. Smarkdown. Weekly Takedown. Thursdays at 5 p.m. where Brian Golda and Roadie will react and review to the NXT broadcast on the WWE Network. Showtimes are for live YouTube broadcasts. All podcast versions will be available the next day on various podcast providers. Upcoming WWE pay-per-view specials and marked out shorts like Roadie's Rant, Smarts vs. Marks, the Power Slam Dance Show, and Indie McIndieface will be announced as they are scheduled. Feel free to join us on our exclusive Bubba Radio Army Network show, The Weekly Squash. Visit BubbaRadioArmy.com for listings. Keep the conversation going on Twitter using the handle @SmartMarkShow. You can call our fan line 704-444-0084 or send us an email, markedoutpodcast@gmail.com. Visit markedoutwrestling.com for all other social media networks. Get connected. Get connected. Get connected. Get connected. Get connected.
Go away.
Oh my God!
I said no.
Okay, I clean.
No, get out of here.
I stick finger in your mouth. Housekeeping.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody, it's time for our 10 hot takes. We're going to do 10 topics real quick. The guys are going to go back and forth for a minute or two, and then we're going to just straight run through it.
And we'll do more board interaction on this one, guys. So it's kind of like our best, worst, and our Rawsome Awards and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, number one, Vince Russo. Since we already know Rob's opinion on Russo, Bob, I want you to go first.
Okay, I will say a one-time genius that has fallen far, far, far from grace.
That's fair.
Vince Russo, a never-time genius who always had someone to make him look better than what he was, and he got exposed when he was by himself. Disagreement on that?
Yes, my answer clearly disagreed with that. He had great ideas, and he had some bad ones. Yes, he needed somebody to tether him, but it is inarguable the great ideas that he had.
Yeah, you know, my 6-year-old, she has a million ideas all day long. Every day, a million ideas a day. And
You should listen to some of them.
And 3 of them are pretty good ideas. The rest of them are absolute garbage.
Except he came up with a few more than 3. But go ahead.
Yeah, he also
What's the board?
he also helped destroy a company. But go ahead to the board.
The board's behind us. So Noah said Russo is a fucking dork. I can't disagree with that. Perfect 11 just wrote in, Vince Russo was an employee. He did well in his role. And then when he stepped out of that role, he failed.
You know, I think, and Bob, I think you can relate to this, and then we'll move to the next take real quick. But Adam tells a story about the record company, the record store that you guys worked at, where there was a guy who he was an absolutely wonderful employee, and he got promoted because of that. And he was an absolute garbage manager, and they ended up firing him because he was so bad. You know, some people
wasn't that good of an employee. Adam shines that turd just a little bit.
Okay, well, and
he was a nice guy. I'll give him that. He was a super nice guy.
I accept that. I accept that as truth from you. But I think the point is still valid there. That Vince may have been good in a role, but the minute that he got elevated to something with more executable responsibility, it exposed him. So there you go.
Oh, the power went straight to his head. He went completely off page. So
and and as a person right now, he's a human troll. He's a piece of garbage right now.
Yeah, he bless his heart, man. I worry about that guy.
Yeah, well. Flying spaghetti monster.
Cornette's going to kill him one day. He's going to die, and Cornette's going to go to jail.
I loved Cornette's reaction to him. It was yeah, motherfucker, man. Go ahead. What you got, Golda?
Speaking of Jim Cornette, topic 2, Joey Ryan's dick spot.
Okay.
Rob, go first.
If you don't know what this is, Joey Ryan, the indie wrestler, does this spot where somebody grabs his dick, and then he does like a hip flex, and then he's like slams him, flips him over. I'll go first.
With his dick.
With his dick, yeah. And I personally think this is awesome. When I watched it, I laughed. And here's why I think it's awesome. Number one, it's on an indie show. So who gives a fuck what happens there, right? Who cares? Number two, it adds a piece of entertainment that no one ever saw before, so it's going to give you a pop in a while. And if that's the goal of wrestling, to get reactions, well, more power to them. Fucking the mighty, powerful dick slam. So go ahead, Bob.
One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Everything that is wrong with the indie scene right now.
Well, I mean, dumbest thing I've ever seen. Look, I like, I really like Seth Rogen movies, and I have a lot of friends that are like, it's just a bunch of dick jokes. Well, yeah, you know, it is. It's a bunch of dick jokes, and sometimes that's just kind of what you're in the mood for. Something stupid.
But you don't think that it cheapens the industry just a little bit?
No, if he was
there, are guys who every night who are breaking their back doing real moves, who went through real training, and they're putting on real spots.
No.
And then this guy is suplexing people with his nutsack.
Dude, look, it's every if you go to a house show, and we all have been to many house shows, and I'm talking indies or even WWE products, there is always that comedy match where there's something kind of outlet, where the wrestling is not really a focus, there's no storyline involved, it's just a simple comedy match. I watched an NXT show with Finn Balor and Revival and Shinsuke and a whole bunch of other like big names in the main event, where they ended up doing the goddamn the human centipede in the ring. They did the human centipede in the ring. Now if you want to go what?
Like they went ass to mouth on each other?
Like they put everybody, like all of them got in like headlock, like the head scissors, and then like the first, the last, but it was clearly meant to be human centipede because they're all flapping their arms like a fucking centipede, and with the guy in the front, he flipped over, and then they all flipped over with him, and it just kind of kept going that way, and so there's room in wrestling for outlandish comedy. There's just room there. If Joey Ryan was a mainstay main eventer or mid-carder on WWE or something more high profile, I would say this was absolute garbage. Why the fuck would you do this? But if he's doing it at an indie show and it got some popularity because it was so unique and so weird, more power to him.
So dumb.
Well, yeah, dumb, but sometimes dumb is funny.
I mean, Joey Ryan did say he's going to buy a Ring of Honor with all his dick money.
Well, there you go. Dick money, baby. Peter North did well.
There you go. All right, T-Money Belvedere said, the penis plex is the pure definition of suspension of belief, and I love it.
That's a really good way to put that.
God damn it, T-Money, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daniel Price said, Cornette is completely right about Ryan. It is a sleazy, stupid Val Venus gone wrong.
It is, and it's
there. You go.
It's fucking fabulous. It's so stupid and just immature. Come on, don't be such.
Rob finally uses the word fabulous, and it's about a guy's dick.
All right.
All right. Then Noah said that Jim Cornette did a beautiful shoot on Joey Ryan recently. It's probably on YouTube somewhere if you guys want to check it out.
I'm sure there's a lot of motherfuckers, and I'm sure he bashed him. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's fine.
And wrestling is fucking stupid. Joey Ryan doing that spot is smart because he's going to be in his fucking 60s still flipping dudes with his dick.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
And with that, we're going to number 3 on the 10 hot takes. Who is the biggest waste of talent in WWE? Bob, go first. This is a tough one.
Fandango.
Yes. He is a fabulous worker, I think.
Yeah, that's actually making me really reconsider what I was thinking. I was leaning towards Curtis Axel. And
that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he trains the big names when they come back from their part timers when they come in. He was a good heel. He was a good character. He's a good wrestler. He tells a good story. They've never used him right. Well, they did one time when he was a Heyman guy. They used him well. And
yes.
They just kind of gave up on him. Actually, I think Ryback fucked him over.
Ryback fucked everybody over.
So yeah, I think Curtis Axel's mine. Anything on the board for?
Can't argue with that.
All right, let's see.
Oh, Perfect 11 saying Roman Reigns. I think you got the question wrong. Perfect 11. It's not who's the biggest waste. It's the wasted talent. Who should have more?
All right, okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, Ozzy. He's got Neville. Let's see. Daniel Price. He's not in WWE anymore, but Damian Sandow. Vince misused him terribly. The intellectual savior was outstanding.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he should have been a top tier guy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Noah just came in. Cesaro. That guy could have easily been top talent with Paul Heyman, but he was overshadowed by the streak ending.
No.
Really, he was overshadowed by Brock came back, so he had no use.
Yeah, I
for
look.
them.
I like Cesaro for a lot of reasons, but Cesaro is to me, and I hate to quote the old man, the dementia himself. But the brass ring comment, it's kind of holds true. Cesaro is a great talent, but there's something about him that just is never going to get over to that next level. It's never going to happen. It's kind of like it's like Roderick Strong. He is never going to be the guy. Never. The people, they're not. If you see his name on a card, on the top of the card, he is not going to sell tickets. He's never going to get it, ever.
All right, Juan Rodriguez just came in with Cody Rhodes.
Well, he's not currently on the roster, so hold that thought. Okay?
That's all we have.
Okay. Go ahead, next one.
All right, we got number 4. Which one talent or tag team should the WWE sign today? Rob, go.
Here's why I told Juan to hold off on that, because my answer to that is Cody Rhodes. Sign Cody Rhodes and use him correctly. I don't believe Cody Rhodes should be the champion, the number one champion. I do not believe that. I like Cody. I really do. I just don't think he's got the stature to hold that position. I think Cody Rhodes, though, you talk about like Miz right now as the IC champion. What a great feud that would be for an IC belt. Cody Rhodes and Miz. Cody Rhodes could be a perennial IC champion, just like Jericho kind of was for much of his career. And I think it would be a great decision. Cody Rhodes is my answer.
Bob.
Why is the answer anybody but Jay Lethal?
I don't.
Jay Lethal's phenomenal. Rob doesn't really know a whole lot about Jay Lethal.
I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah, he's a fabulous talent, especially since he dropped his Macho Man gimmick.
All right. Well, anything on the board?
Like that is the worst part of his career.
Yeah.
That dude is amazing.
Okay, we all know Noah's answer. It's Brian fucking Cage. He says it all the time.
Perfect 11 says Kenny Omega.
Ooh, that would be fancy.
I don't know about that one. I think Kenny Omega is in the perfect position where he's at right now.
He loves Japan,
and Japan loves him.
I don't think he'd get over.
I don't think so. I think he'd be misused. I think if you used him right, he'd be fine. But I think in Japan, he's in the perfect position. He should stay there, retire there. If he wants to come back in his twilight and do something with WWE, okay, fine, but not right now.
Right. Now, this T-Money's answer here is probably my number 2 pick if you take out Adam Cole. Marty Scurll, the guy that they just put in the Bullet Club.
Okay.
He is a fabulous talent. He's in Ring of Honor, real good worker, real good charisma.
I have no opinion one way or the other on him, so,
I'll show you some stuff.
That one's hard to argue with. That's a good one, too.
Yeah, Marty Scurll, he's wonderful. Let's see. Daniel Price. The Briscoes would completely change the tag division if Vince did not squander them.
There's no way you can use the Briscoes in WWE.
No. They're way too
They have to
rated
be
R.
completely unleashed, and you can't let those two guys be unleashed in WWE.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you are correct. See, Noah says that Omega and the Young Bucks, quote unquote, the super kick midgets, need to stay in the indies.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they need to stay for their own benefit, too. Real quick, jumping back, Sam, Aussie, Sir Sam says, as far as the wasted talent, he's talking about Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder, I think Zack has been misused. All right.
All right, now we are going to topic number 5, Glow on Netflix. Bob, go.
I'm 100% ready for this. I'm super down for this. I think Glow is cheesy, but what they're doing is they're going to behind-the-scenes kind of thing with it. Apparently, Allison Brie's going to do a really intense nude scene, so I'm completely down for that. But I think it's going to be good, just fun, mindless entertainment. Okay. Yeah, I have no problem with Glow on Netflix.
I am confused. I'm confused by this one, Bob. So maybe you can help me here, because when I first heard it was coming out, I thought they were revamping the actual brand. They're doing a whole new thing with it. So this is a biopic.
Yeah, this is a behind-the-scenes kind of thing, and it's not even like actual what really happened.
Yeah,
it is a woman who, it's a struggling actress who finds a job with Glow, and her friend who used to work on a soap opera finds out that the main character slept with her husband, so now she's in Glow, and they're going to end up, having a match together at some point. Mark Marone is like the guy who's the booker.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fantastic.
So this is like the wrestling version of Coyote Ugly. Look,
Yes.
I want to say that.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, I want to say this to anybody on the board currently, or anyone who may hear this after in retro. If you are too young to know what Glow is,
Like
or,
me.
or you, like you, or if you've never seen Glow, I would encourage you to not only watch this, but maybe go and try to hunt down some of the old Glow matches, and they are as ridiculous and
so
outrageous.
bad.
It is so bad. Like, look, this. I remember this one scene where on the second rope, she had her breast hanging over the rope, so the rope was under her breast, and they're shaking her on the rope, so her breasts are just hanging over the rope, bouncing up and down, and the commentator's going, "Oh my God, she's choking her on the rope! She's choking her on the ropes!" Again, the rope is under her tits, right? It was so bad. It was like Sharknado before Sharknado. I'm telling you, if you have not watched Glow before, if you live in Colorado, Washington, California, or any of those fun states, get yourself some of that fun the sativa. Is that the fun one, or is it indica?
I think it's
Indica.
Indica. Get yourself some.
The team is more speedy. But
Okay.
yeah.
Get yourself the fun one and watch some old Glow. Do it for yourself. I'm telling you.
When your top face is just simply known as the farmer's daughter,
Right.
that's all you need to know. Just
Perfect.
go into that.
Perfect.
All right, to give the board a couple seconds to catch up, Daniel Price had a comment about the Briscoes. He said the WWE had them for a tryout. They said no because of how they were. Johnny Ace said they were not good looking enough for WWE. True story.
Wow. Okay.
I don't doubt that at
I
all.
don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
All right.
Johnny Ace is an idiot.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
Anything on Glow?
Yes, I'm getting there now. Daniel Price says cheesy 80s Glow and Lady Godiva were
Godiva.
friggin'
Godiva.
Godiva, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Godiva were
There we
friggin'
go.
greatness.
Yes.
Noah says Glow is already on Netflix. There's a documentary on there.
Okay.
Let's see. Daniel Price also said Glow came on the local Fox station on Saturdays at noon when he was a kid. Again, Lady Godiva.
Yeah. Didn't it used to come on like after Saturday Night Live at some like 2, 3 in the morning, something like that at a point, Bob?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was like late night reruns of it.
Yeah, it was fucking fabulous. I loved it.
All right, number 6. This is a topic near and dear to my heart. Thank you, Bob. Pro Wrestling Gorilla. Roadie Rob, go first.
Pro Wrestling Gorilla. I have limited knowledge of it. Brian has introduced me a lot to Pro Wrestling Gorilla, and a family member of mine actually considered training there before, so I kind of learned a little bit there. From what I have seen, it is a hotspot for indie fans, and it's a place for high-profile indie wrestlers to really get exposure. And it crosses the line at times of professional wrestling and entertainment, and I don't see a problem with it. I think it's a wonderful product, and it's the new ECW of professional wrestling.
You shut your mouth.
Look, I'm not saying they're ever going to get to the level ECW was, or they're even as good, but in the terms of today's product, they are the ECW of today's product.
I would say that's Ring of Honor's spot.
Okay.
Pro Wrestling Gorilla here's what I like about it. It's the closest thing to a union in professional wrestling the U.S. will ever see, because it's owned by a group of indie guys who all get together and do these great shows, and they all work together on it. So I like that aspect of it. Where I think they do detriment to themselves and to the business are these viral videos they put out of eye poke, chain wrestling, and the constant, like the super kick party, and the razor, the RKO festival, and just like that's just dumb, and it takes all illusion away from it.
It's fun, and the slow motion matches are awesome. The slow motion matches are awesome. You were some crotchety old shit, Bob. I tell you,
The slow motion matches.
Oh,
I just want you to think about what you're saying.
it's just a different form of theater. That's all it is. I mean, all wrestling is theater, and it's a different form of theater. It's like the Book of Mormon for Broadway. It's a different form of theater.
It is a wink and a nod to the audience, and that's what I find wrong with the.
Well, there you go. There you go. Grandpa Bob doesn't like it, guys, because it lets you have some fun sometimes. Get off my goddamn lawn.
And I know why Bob doesn't like it. PWG is where they had the 10-person dick flip by Joey Ryan.
There you go. Anything on a
Oh,
board?
I didn't even know they did that.
It was
that
Pro Wrestling
makes it
Guerrilla.
even worse.
Yes. Okay, on
Did
the
not know
board.
that existed.
Yes, Daniel Price said Chris Hero was doing insane shit in PWG, even fat. Noah says, love it. Literally watched some PWG Chikara with Tyler Bate. It is so fucking fun and wrestling done right in the most entertaining way possible. And Daniel Price also says, check out the 95 moves of Chris Hero clip. Some of them are him at PWG shows. And then Noah says, Randy Orton on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, ... dive.
All right. What else we got?
That's pretty much about it. Everybody else is just
All right.
talking a bunch of crap.
Number 7.
All right, numero 7. Apple pie, a la mode or plain? Bob, go first.
A la mode, or I don't want to know you.
Now explain to me exactly what a la mode is.
Ice cream on top.
Oh. Oh, man. That's a tough one. This might be the toughest question of the show.
What kind of animal eats apple pie by itself?
I do. Fucking hell yeah, I do. Now some whipped cream. Is that okay?
Given the option between the two,
Can plain be whipped cream, or is that not in the span of
that's
the?
not a la mode. A la mode is ice cream.
Okay, all right. But the other option is plain, so everything in between is kind of fuck you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I enjoy. I like a nice, warm, heated slice of apple pie.
I bet you do.
Just by itself. The
That doesn't make any sense.
The
to me.
Rob loves.
Given the option, ice cream.
The Rob loves pie.
Preferably if it's got some chocolate.
I like some cream on my pie, so what up?
I do like some chocolate pie.
All right, the board. They are weighing in. Let's see. Daniel Price, plain. I do not mix my pie and ice cream. Noah, I love apple pie by itself. Team Money Belvedere, ice cream all day. No question.
All day.
All day. All day.
You know, my grandma, she cut up a slice of apple pie. She actually had an apple tree in her backyard, and or my great grandma, and she would make her own apple pie, and then she cut a slice, and she heated up for me in the oven, not the microwave, and then she'd hand it to me, and she'd pour milk in the bowl. She'd put the slice in a bowl, and she'd pour milk in it. So then when it crunched up, it just kind of sogs into the milk. Oh, it's so good, so
You know what
fucking.
that is?
What?
That's love.
That is love.
That woman loved you.
She made me oatmeal from scratch. I mean, fucking. Well, of course, she was a Depression era type chick. So everything had to be made from scratch and not used that much of. So.
Ooh, Ozzy says apple crumble.
Ooh, I'm not a crumble fan. No, not a crumble fan.
See, man, how are you just wrong on all desserts?
I know.
That's crazy to me.
Hey, look, my cheesecake. I like cheesecake plain as can be. I don't like shit. I don't like strawberry cheesecake.
Oh no, I'm with you on that. Don't put compote on a cheesecake.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Number 8. I think this is going to be a nice one. This one might go a little long. Fire a talent. Bob, go.
Okay, because we all know what Rob's going to be.
No, you don't. You don't.
All right, so you want a hot take?
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze.
Really?
Fire him today. He's never going to go higher than where he is.
So?
He's a comedy bit, and if you get rid of him, maybe Fandango can actually move up to where he needs to be.
He's doing his thing right now. He's making the fashion police thing is even if it's a short term gimmick, it's getting over, man.
But he's never going to go higher than where he is.
I think
that's my take.
Well, I think
Tyler.
I think that's lazy and easy. So I will go a little bit more complicated on it, and I might get some drawback here, and I can understand why I would. My answer is, and there's conditions to this. My answer is Brock Lesnar. Fire Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
Fire your number one guy.
Yeah.
Raw.
Fire your number one guy. Look, you don't have to bitch at me about the reasons why that sounds completely stupid. I hear myself say it, and I already know the reasons why it sounds stupid. The only reason why, and I wanted to be controversial here on this one, and the only reason I say that is it's the part-timer thing. Brock Lesnar takes the title, which is the main prop that keeps the people, that showcase that talent at the top. It allows people to show what they can be as a champion, and he holds it hostage for months at a time every time he gets it. He
doesn't hold it hostage. He wins it, and then he becomes a huge draw for when he does show up.
It's still real to me, damn it!
No,
You don't think Raw's going to have better ratings than last week's Raw?
No, I agree. No, I think that the Samoa Joe thing and Brock Lesnar, again, I know how stupid this sounds, but the reason I'm saying it is fire him or restructure him. Tell him, if you want to be part of this company, if you want to do this, then let's do it differently. Let's do it differently with you, because you are taking away the opportunities for other people to rise and showcase. That's my whole thing. Yes, you were a beast. You come in and you do the same match over and over. You lay a bunch of fucking suplexes on people. You do what you do, but you never do anything different. And you hold main spots hostage. You hold main events hostage. You hold belts hostage. You hold airtime hostage. I like Brock Lesnar. I don't want him to be fired. But if you're not going to use him correctly, where it benefits everyone, I would say, yeah, take the chance.
He also holds Paul Heyman hostage.
What was the title of this? Fire somebody,
yes.
But you don't want him fired. But he named the guy he wants fired.
I want him restructured or fired. That's my answer. And
well, I will say it should be one or the other.
Okay, go ahead.
So you
go to Sir Sam first.
where he agrees with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're all agreeing with you right now.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
So the fans are on my side.
Yeah, you should pretty much just look up. They all said fire Brock Lesnar. Let's see. And Daniel Price says Luke Harper. If his push was nothing more than a screen test and they cannot use him properly, give him a chance to shine elsewhere. Noah says fire Bray Wyatt. He's been ruined by creative. He's had disappointing matches and feuds his whole WWE career. His promos go nowhere. He's a boring wrestler. He's so overrated, in my opinion. Let's see. And then Daniel Price says, I completely agree. Lesnar is an absolute bag of shit that gives zero fucks about the wrestling business.
Yeah, he's a hired gun.
100%.
Never pretended to be otherwise.
No, and that's fine. I understand that. From the smart point of view, Bob, I understand what you're saying. He's a draw. Yeah. He is a draw. But you know what? Sometimes you got to take a chance, man. Sometimes you have to take a chance for what might be better for the future. That's all I'm saying. Stop looking at the present and look at the future. If you're never looking forward, you're just standing still.
All right, T Money says fire Cesaro. Let him flourish in New Japan.
Okay. If that's a mercy killing. That's a mercy killing. I can see that.
And a few people said Dolph. Noah says he should just ask for his release and go tear the indie scene up.
Sir Sam said Vince. I actually think there should be a vote of confidence on him. I really do. I honestly believe that. But that's me.
And they would all vote confident.
I know they would. I know. Okay.
Okay, all right. So
Next
we
one.
are going to
we're running late as fuck.
Topic 9. Topic 9. 2-man announced team from the existing ones. Build one. Rob, go.
I'm going to kind of bend the rule here a little bit, and I'm going to say Corey Graves and JR.
Well, technically, JR is an announced team.
Not JR, an existing guy. Not JR.
He's existing. He's in the UK product.
JR is too easy. You can't use JR.
Okay. Well, I mean, you didn't put
because
on...
he's part-time. He's part-time.
Clarify that shit, motherfucker!
Okay, besides JR, who do you got, Rob?
Oh, well, then go to Bob. I need to think about it more then.
Okay, Bob, go.
Corey Graves is first-round draft. I agree with that.
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Tom Phillips is really underrated.
He was my second choice for fire.
I really think he's super underrated.
Oh, my God. He's so horrible.
I think he's a great play-by-play guy, and I think Corey Graves is a great color guy.
Have you been watching NXT at all? I mean,
yes.
I mean that not only is the announced team absolute garbage right now, but Tom Phillips is the lead garbage. He is the pivot point for those two, for that 3-man panel of shit.
I don't know. I will say on 205 Live, it's Phillips and Graves, and it's listenable.
Well, that's because Graves pulls fuck your face Phillips out of the fucking out of the shit.
Maybe that's what Bob's saying.
Well, okay, if you don't have Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon was boring. Gorilla Monsoon was boring when he had the governor guy, Jesse Ventura. He was boring with him at times. Bobby Heenan made whoever he worked with. But Gorilla was a good play-by-play guy.
Oh, I agree with that. Honestly, I would take a chance, and I would take a chance, and this might be a little bit crazy, but something like Renee Young and Corey Graves. I would like to see a female color person, commentator.
Well, Corey's the color.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. The play-by-play. I like to see a female on the play-by-play. I like to see how it would go. I like to see the
I actually
interactions.
thought about that tandem. That was actually one that I thought of initially.
They did it on NXT, right? Those two were together, weren't they? And it was not bad. It was pretty good. I mean, I'm not saying Renee is.
She was okay.
She was okay, but she could get better. She could do a lot of on the job training with the level she has right now. Go ahead, go to board.
All right, the board. Let's see. We have Sam says Cole, JBL. Okay, he's making two, I guess. He wants Cole and JBL with Tom and Graves. Juan says Corey and Atunga. I mean, that's color and horrible. I don't know how that's going to work.
That's what that is. That's trolling.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's unintended trolling. Love you, Juan.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Noah, same with 11, but he wants to fire JBL. And Daniel Price says Graves, and as much as I hate to say it, Layfield. Who's doing the play-by-play? There, I don't get it.
It's just. I'm sorry. There's really no. Cole, I don't even think Cole's great at play-by-play. Cole is a promotional puppet, and that's what he's supposed to do. I'm not hating on him. That's his job, and he does that well.
Okay, T-Money has a good one here. Corey Graves and Nigel McGuinness.
Oh God, Nigel is
no. Just let me say.
That's tight.
If you watch Nigel McGuinness from Ring of Honor, he was doing the play-by-play. Watch that Kevin Steen versus Nakamura match. Because on that match, Nigel's doing the play-by-play, I think.
All right,
and it's amazing.
I like to see. Let's see here, Tony Schiavone and David Otunga. There you go.
That's a train wreck and a half.
Tony Schiavone.
It'd be entertaining at the least bit.
Welcome to WCW Tuesday nights. All right. Moving on.
Final
one.
The 10 hot takes. The old Crimson Mask itself. Blood and Wrestling. Do you guys miss it? Rob, go.
Yes and no. I miss it when it mattered. In the really high-profile matches, Ric Flair was a great bleeder. Hunter was a really good bleeder. In matches where it really warrants it, the Rock and Stone Cold matches, it's Bret Hart and Stone Cold. I mean, those matches, blood was a gimmick in those matches that are a prop that was just it took it over the top, and it was made it perfect. My fear is that if you bring blood back, that are going to overuse it, and it's going to be used in spots that shouldn't be used in, matches that shouldn't be used in, and it's going to be stupid little blood capsules and not the old kind of the nick on the head or I miss it, but I fear its return.
I miss it for the level that it's dumb to have the Elimination Chamber. It's made out of solid steel and nobody bleeds.
Right.
Hell in the Cell is the same way. Like those two matches, it should be brought out like Brock Lesnar for special occasions, but also when it makes sense. Not just, hey, let's see what this guy looks like bleeding. It's just ECW. That was one of the worst things they ever did to the industry.
Yeah, you can go over the top with blood. I remember I was working a job in a warehouse one time, and I was sweeping the floor, and I left the forks on the forklift up, and I just looked down the floor sweeping, and I ran headfirst right into the forks, and I concussed myself, and I walked up in the office, and my manager, who was not a wrestling fan, said to me, and I didn't even know I was bleeding. He goes, "Holy shit, you look like Ric Flair in a cage match." So just the reference, and I was just covered. I would look like Carrie. I was covered from fucking and I had hair back then. So blood can make impacts in wrestling for those even not wrestling fans, but you got to do it right.
I couldn't imagine with hair.
It's like flippy shit. Don't misuse it.
Yeah, don't use it too much. That's an overkill. Okay.
All right, the board. Daniel Price says he misses it somewhat. When it was in a cage match or a hardcore match, yeah. But after the Bob Orton incident where he had hepatitis, bled, and no one told The Undertaker, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be more careful now. I mean, with medical advances, we understand diseases and transmissions more than they did in the 80s and in the Attitude Era. And so, yeah, obviously you have to be more safe now. And that is just a consequence of knowledge. And, you know, as much as you might hate it, it's true. Yes, guys, I had hair at one point. I was born bald. But I had at one time, my stylist, which I had a stylist, told me I had a very thick, beautiful head of hair.
She lied to you, boy.
I did at one point, motherfuckers.
I mean, dude, same way. There's pictures of me with a full-length mane.
I remember I was at my desk and I was doing some paperwork at an old job, and a guy walked up to me, one of my coworkers, and I had my head bent down looking at the paper. So he looked at the top of my dome and he goes, "Man, you're getting a little thin there, Rob." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I went home that night, looked in the mirror, and I saw it for the first time, and I shaved my shit that night. No debate. It's off, gone. I'm not doing LeBron James. I'm not fucking doing it.
All right. We're rating this shit in now. All right. On the board, we got Daniel Hoffman. Blood is unnecessary if the match tells the story right.
I agree.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect 11. I don't think they need it in every match, but I also don't think they should stop matches because of it. Noah, blood in wrestling should only be used for important feuds in wrestling.
Yeah.
We don't need it in every match, but it should be used in Hell in a Cell.
It's the Italian version.
Exactly. In some ladder matches and hardcore matches. So, there we go.
There you go. I did not have a fucking mullet. Well, no, I did when I was 10.
I had a rat tail when I was like 5.
I see that. All
right. Anything else you guys want expanded on? You want to talk about some more points? What's going on?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, we're pushing almost 2 hours here. So,
hey, it's wonderful.
All right, we're going to do our final shots of the night. So I'll go ahead and do mine and let Bob close it out with his final shot. This is our first show doing it, so I think it went really well. We'll probably regulate the time a little better next time so it's not as long. We had a good audience on the live board, so I appreciate the live board for being there. I know you guys, we missed a lot of your comments. And, again, we just wanted to focus on conversation and get you in when we could. But thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining us tonight. I had a lot of fun. Tonight, me and Bob we had our heated moments. We didn't get as heated as maybe we could have, and I'm sure in future shows, topics will come up that will ignite the fires of passion between myself and El Babo. But I just want to say I enjoyed this show here. We'll look for us doing this, maybe a monthly thing or however it rolls. But thank you so much for joining us on it. I hand the baton over to Mr. Bob.
Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. You basically. This next show is going to be just like this show. We want to know what topics you want to have us talk about. I don't like a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all don't like me, and that's fine because we disagree. But as the audience, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming and spending your time with us and allowing us to be part of your entertainment. So never mistake the two of my opinions on the industry and my value to you as the audience. I take a lot of pride in this show and all of what we do. So thank y'all very much. This is all for y'all.
Okay.
So smarts over marks all times.
Well, we'll agree to disagree there again. I do want to do this final shot here from Noah, Bob. I think you might appreciate this. Final shot from Noah says, "You know what, Bob? I'll give Bob a nice handshake. This is the most enjoyable I've ever heard him be. If he would please like to end the past shit between you two, he would love to start fresh and clean with you, if that's okay."
As long as he keeps my name out of his mouth, we're fine.
Well, that's okay. That's a sure with a chop afterwards. Okay.
It's better than nothing.
Sir Sam, our Aussie says, thanks, guys. This was really enjoyable. Actual in-depth discussion, allowing for nuances. So that was kind of the goal here. We appreciate
Every time you say his name, I want to go, oi, oi, oi.
Well, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. There you
go. Oi, oi, oi.
He's all the way, he's over there. He's down under, man. He's down under. Yeah, he's, who can it be now?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right, so... so that looks like about how we're going to run it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We certainly do appreciate it. Don't forget Monday night we got our Rawsome show. Tuesday night Smartdown. Thursday night we have or Thursday I guess evening 5 p.m. on YouTube we have our weekly takedown show doing NXT reaction. Also, don't forget tomorrow night, BubbaArmyRadio.com. BubbaArmyRadio.com at 10 p.m. Sunday night. 10 p.m. Sunday night, we have the weekly squash show where you're going to get some unique perspective and some flashbacks from Monday and Tuesday shows. But some unique perspective in that show that we did not give to you on YouTube or the podcast. So if you want to hear some of that unique perspective, that's Sunday night, 10 p.m. on the BubbaArmyRadio.com. Listen live there. And again, it's not a DVR type thing. You have to listen live like a radio show on any radio channel. You can't rewind it. You got to watch it, okay? So that's our upcoming schedule. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to the next time me and Bob have a little Smarks versus Marks, but as the bottom of the program sheet says, good night and goodbye.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is recorded, edited, distributed, and marketed at U-Record Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. For more information on optimizing your podcast for increased listenership, check out U-Record on Facebook, Twitter, and email sales@urecordstudios.com or visit the website www.urecordstudios.com.
Yes! 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 Yes!
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Go away, fat man.